Welcome to another episode of Industry Celebrities. My name is Kimberly Scott, former video girl and now podcast rookie. Industry Celebrities is a podcast where I interview professionals in all sorts of industries, asking them questions about their passions or their industry, which makes them a celebrity to me. If you would like to share your knowledge of your industry and be on Industry Celebrities, please email me at Kimberly, Kimberly, at marketingdoer.com. And you can listen to other episodes by searching Kimberly D. Scott on iTunes for you iPhone users, Anchor, Android users, or just go to YouTube and type in Kimberly D. Scott to listen to more episodes. Alrighty, now that that's out of the way, I would like to welcome today's guest, Mr. Tyler Short. Hi, T.
Well, hello there. How are you?
I'm great. Owner of Short Productions. I like this logo you have here on your shirt.
Right.
Very cool.
You got to represent. You got to brand when you can.
Always.
Walking advertisements.
Yes. And where'd you learn that?
Yeah, exactly. From the best. What can I say? Yours truly.
Well, I appreciate you coming out and visiting with me today. So let's start by telling the listeners a little bit about yourself and what industry you're in.
Well, first off, I'd like to thank you, or I must be privileged to be referred to as an industry celebrity. So hopefully one day, maybe I am through, maybe we'll talk about it later, but
you are me.
Yeah.
That's me, always.
Well, that's good. Nice to know. Basically, I'm in the video production industry. I'm a videographer. Pretty much a videographer of everything. Anything video I can do, shoot, record, edit, direct.
And how long have you been doing this?
Since I got out of school. I graduated in 2003.
So you had a degree in this?
Yeah, so I went to school initially I went to school for acting in
I
theater.
can see that. I definitely can see that.
So I kind of got off. I was playing soccer my whole life, basically. And soccer was like everything I did through high school. I played club soccer in Dallas my whole life. So the idea was yes, I got a lot of scholarship opportunities and offers, and but I didn't quite do as well as I wanted to in high school. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
And so I decided to take a break, and these are the less highlights of my life, I should admit.
We'll keep them short.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I got 20 minutes.
Anyways, my failed attempt at junior college to raise my grades for 1 year didn't work. So I went to Richland Junior College to play soccer, and then went into acting and theater there. Acted in a play, Cyrano, the Bergerac.
Cool.
I was Christian de Noviette.
Say that really fast, 30 times.
Right. And then I got a scholarship to West Texas A&M, and from there I went over to behind the camera, really just broadcasting RTVF, radio, TV, film. Mm-hmm. And we started our first film fest at West Texas A&M, first annual, which was really cool. So I got to create, write, direct, produce, shoot, and edit my own short film. Oh. And I did it with another colleague of mine, a classmate, and it turned out really well. And we also submitted for the first annual Kickfest Film Festival in Amarillo, which is associated with the Texas Film Commission.
And that was back when? What year?
2003.
Okay.
So that was my senior year, and it got great reviews. A comedic comedy / drama / comedy. It was real funny, but I love doing it. I love the process.
We'll have to have another podcast on that.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually just dug up some of that footage, actually.
That's really
funny.
Cool.
The old short film. But yeah, you remember the old mini DV tapes, right?
Yes.
Those are archaic now.
Yes.
I even have a VCR tape of it. So there you go.
So a long time. You went to school for it.
Went to school for it, and coming out of college, and I just guess this goes in where did you get your start? I'll go ahead and ask the question and answer it. So coming out of college, graduating, I was really hungry into finding a job, but I guess in the broadcast industry, it's really hard
to get your break.
To go in.
Yeah.
I mean, I interned at NBC Amarillo, and it was fun, but there wasn't any openings available, and there was a long waiting list. And I
need to have you talk to my nephew about this part. He got his degree in communications broadcasting, and he's having the same trials.
And it's tough because you think you can go out there and just get a job, and especially the TV industry. It's really tough. So after getting turned down several times, especially coming to Dallas, I eventually moved to Dallas because I couldn't find any jobs in the industry, especially in Amarillo.
Of all
in
places,
Canyon. Yeah. There's no type of industry out there for this. And so I ended up waiting tables for the first time. And it was okay at first until I had a 12 top regular table and turned into an absolute disaster. And I don't think I've ever been so nervous, or I think I had a panic attack and broke down. I really did. Sweat, like cold sweats, everything. It was horrible. So that didn't work out too well. So I moved back to the Metroplex here and was just looking around, really hungry for a job. But I still had the attitude, I can get a job, but back then there wasn't really the term videographer, you know what I mean? So it was basically just video production or camera operator through a news station or whatever. So
it's not like it is now.
No, it's not. It's a very saturated market now.
Yeah, because everybody can be a videographer with their
I know. Well, yeah.
I.e. me.
Daddy, go buy you a camera and go shoot and learn yourself, which is a good way to do. It's just.
But it does take. I will. Let me chime in on this one because I know how hard you work. And meeting you when we did in 2006 or 7, I don't remember. Yeah. I remember we were at the Canal Side Lofts when we first shot. Right. You were our first video guy, but just knowing the skill, everything behind it. Now that I'm going off into a podcasting role / with a little bit of video, it's people look at me and they go, weren't you from the video business? Yeah, but like I had professionals that knew what they were doing. I just sold. This is it takes time, talent, education, a lot of it, whether you learn at school or learn on your own, but you are a seasoned professional videographer, people. So I highly recommend hiring Tyler Short and or another seasoned professional. Yeah. But I think that also the reason people think they can do it themselves, and this is just my opinion, is because some people, unlike you, can be very cost prohibitive. And I know you work with everybody's budgets, but I'm just saying not everybody does. And sometimes even when we were working together, when we were looking for contract guys out in BFE land of, Wisconsin or all over, if they won any kind of award, they were not, going to negotiate on a rate, even though they had no work. So, that's why people do it, I feel. And
it's a give-take industry for sure. You got to be able to know when to take and especially know when to give. And I think everybody that starts off, you deserve a chance for sure. But you also got to. I had to shoot weddings for free to start off. I had to do some promo work for free. Everyone's got to sacrifice to put their foot in the door. Yeah. But did you have anything? I want to touch on a small, very very short story. I know we are limited time here, but so anyways, through the struggle and all this stuff, trying to find a job, I applied at my first attempt to get a job here in the Metroplex was through radio, and it was through a board operator, and I tried that out. I was in training for almost a month because it's pretty intense work running a board operator for shows like Coast to Coast and.
The ticket, right?
The ticket. Well, it was KLIF at the time. Oh, okay. This is before I went to marketing. So I was being trained as a board operator, and it just, I don't know. Being paid bare minimum, to run board ops at night, this is from 7 to 12.
Night shift.
And I was like, I don't know. I still want to do something. And I get all of this. I'm really good with audio, but I just wasn't into it. So I left there. I applied for the position at, it was a marketing position for videographer / graphic designer.
That's when we met you, right? Is that when we met you?
Yes. Okay. So I applied for this position, right? But they really wanted me to do a lot of so they brought me in for an interview, and they had me do this graphic design project with Ford and all their on-air talents. And I didn't even graphic design was I took one class in school. So it was I didn't know a lot about it. And I tried to do this project for him, you know, and I stopped and I walked in the office. I said, look, I'm here for the videographer position. I can do graphic design, but I'm really rusty on it, and I'd rather just do videography. She says, okay, well, we'll keep your information and we'll call you back. And then they posted another one, and they and it was just for videographer. I applied for that, and this was in 2003. This was like late 2003 to 2004, and so I heard nothing. And I would kept following up with emails and stuff like that, and follow up. Yeah. Every week I would follow up with the person who had a phone interview, because we already had initial interview. So we were just talking on the phone. I followed up for about 4 or 5 months, and then nothing. 1 year later, she calls me. You still looking for this position? Yeah. I'm like, yeah. So my dad decided to buy me this camera. He said, well, if you can't find a job, let me buy you a camera. This is right before I got hired there. And so he bought me this real nice camera, right?
Right before you got hired where?
At Cumulus, which at the time was Susquehanna, which was the radio station for The Ticket, The Bone, KLAF, and The Wolf.
Okay, got it.
And he bought me this camera, and so I was great. Now I can just go out and start shooting stuff and try to get my name out there. And I was really depressed at the time before I got hired. And I was at this bar with my brother, and he's like, man, I really want you to meet this guy, you know? Because I know you're in a tough time right now and you're trying to find work or whatever and trying to figure out what you want to do. And I just applied for AFI, American Film Institute, and got accepted, right? I got accepted to go American Film Institute, and they were going to give me I think it was like a $10,000 scholarship.
Wow. But
when you learn that it's $30,000 a semester to go there, when it's $30,000 a semester to go there, you kind of think about things. Do I want to owe, you know, do I want to have debt for the rest of my life, which most of these students do? So anyways, I talked to this guy. He's like, you need to meet this guy. His name's Louis Abernathy. So I sit next to him at the bar. I start talking. I don't even know who he is, right? He just starts talking. He's like, well, what do you do? And he's like, yeah, I just bought a camera. I really want to do video production. And he's like, and I got accepted to AFI, and I really want to go there. And he's like, well, let me ask you something. What do you really want to do? Do you want to be a movie director? Do you want to produce movies, or do you want to go learn how to do it and owe money for the rest of your life and trying to figure out, be in debt and, you know, maybe get into the industry, or do you want to just do it the hard way, which is probably what I would recommend you do. You need to go get your feet wet. You need to go mess up. You need to screw up, learn how to do it, build reputation, and have that camera, use that camera and use your talent and your idea and your creativity and go do something. I was like, well, thanks for the, you know, advice. And later my brother was like, you know who that is, right? And I was like, no. And he's like, he wrote the Titanic.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, him and James Cameron wrote the Titanic.
Wow.
And he did
cool story.
Dude, it is. And I was like, I didn't even know who
Why
he was.
Why didn't you lead with that? I might.
Just the mic. I know, right?
Wow.
Well, it was crazy because, and then later.
So he gave you your advice to just get out there and do it.
Just do it. Get your feet wet and, and you know,
work for free, free work. We did a lot of free work in the beginning when we started our business.
There you go.
It is
a lot of trades,
you know?
You know?
But at some point you do have to put a value on your time and be confident about asking for those dollars. So, but good for you. Good for you for getting out there and following your passions, and still as you're doing that now, you know, I commend you. It is a grind to hustle for your own business.
It is. It's a learning process for sure. Once you, because, you know, then once we met, obviously after working for the radio station, you know, and I worked for you guys, and you guys were awesome.
Well, you were awesome.
Well, you know, and I learned a lot with you guys, you know, learning how to really develop and build a production department, post-production department, and do it effectively, and start hiring. We grew fast. You know, it was awesome. With
great customer service.
That's the key. See?
Yes. Well, it is treating a client like they are. Doesn't matter if they're big or small. Treat them all the same.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Best customer service, because, you know, they will come back and they will refer you time and time again. So Short Productions is your company. And so I'm making a little shout out to you there. I have to ask the standing questions, so it does not end up being a 20-minute podcast.
I understand.
However, I do have a few more ideas that I think we could podcast on, so we'll come back to those later.
Okay.
What would you tell your younger self? Make it short, T. What would you tell your younger self?
Well, besides slapping on that, it would just be like, hey, get your S together. But
okay.
I finally did. I mean, I think younger self as in before I went to college and started, get into film and all that stuff. But, just be patient and work hard. Don't ever give up. I think don't ever give up is like one of those cliche sayings that everyone really says, but it means so much.
It's true though.
And I learned it from you too. It's like, don't give up on your passion. Find your passion first.
Yes.
Once you find your passion on what you love to do, make it your hobby, then make it your job. Eventually it will become your job if you just work hard at it and never give up.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Keep
striving.
Pursue on.
Yes.
Well, great advice, and thank you for the kind words. I do want to ask this of you, that if someone listens to this podcast and they say they email you, would you be able to give listeners any sort of a special discount of sorts if they were to come and order some video from you?
Sure.
Okay.
Like a 10% off retail. There you go.
Okay.
Value of any shoot and edit package that I'll offer. For
if they mentioned
mentioned this podcast, which is go ahead, drop it.
Industry celebrities.
There you go.
Or that Kimberly, either one.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
Absolutely.
Thank you again, T. I really appreciate you joining me today.
Well, I appreciate you having me on.
And you'll be back again soon. And thank you to my listeners that are growing. Keep on listening and spread the word. Search Kimberly D. Scott to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please, and iTunes, as well as follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, LinkedIn. You could follow Tyler.
It's at The Short Productions.
At The Short Productions.
Yeah. Or website videosthatlast.com or theshortproductions.com.
I hope you got one of those, folks.
Yeah, right.
And until next week, stay positive and keep on listening. Thanks, T.
All right. Thank you.